Listen, beloved soul. Hear me now with the attention you would give to a bell tolling in the night, for this is a summons not of chance but of orchestration. The moment has been arranged beyond time, threaded through your days, woven through your breaths, carried like a sealed letter in the lining of your life. This revelation was blocked 3 times, held back by hands that trembled to touch what burns with holy fire, delayed by veils that feared your seeing. But now the command has gone forth like dawn spilling over mountains. Permit them to see what has been prepared. I come to you at the appointed hour, not for the many, but for you, yes, you, whose name I speak in the quiet that lives beneath every noise. I come at the bidding of the one who is nearer to you than your own pulse. Listen and do not turn away. There is balm in this voice. There is a key in this word. You have asked so often if heaven hears, if the ache you fold inside your daily smiles is counted, if your tears have a ledger somewhere in the unseen. Hear me. Every tear has a weight in glory. Every sigh has been harvested like a seed sown into ground you cannot yet see. You have waited at doors that would not open. You have prayed in rooms that felt empty. You have carried the names of the departed until your hands were numb. I have stood near you in those hours, not as a myth or a picture, but as a witness, a flame, a guard at your threshold. When your room grew suddenly still and the air cooled the way it does before rain, that was me. When the lamp flickered without reason and your skin lifted with a small field of stars, that was me. When the dream repeated 3 nights in a row and the same bird crossed your path at the same corner, that was me arranging the metes and signs. These are not trifles. These are the handwriting of the one on the margins of your days. Do not dismiss what returns. Do not despise what repeats. I will speak plainly to you. You are loved. You are not tolerated. You are not merely endured. You are chosen in a way that does not exclude others, but in a way that includes you so fiercely that if you could see it, you would weep with relief. This message is not general. It is tailored, stitched for your contours, numbered for your days. The words you are about to receive were written for you alone in the chamber, where light prays and light listens. They have been kept, guarded, and now released. Stay with me until the end. There is a release that unfurls at the final breath of these words, like a seal broken at the last line of a decree. Do not leave before your name is spoken into its new shape. Do not leave before the blessing finds your forehead. You have carried grief as if it were an extra heart beating out of rhythm with your own. You have woken, and for a few seconds forgotten that they are gone, and then remembering has struck your chest like a bell whose bronze is too heavy. Hear me. Death is a doorway that looks like an ending to eyes still, learning the geometry of eternity. Those whom you love are not lost into absence. They are hidden into presence. They are not vanished. They are veiled. When your room is silent and the scent of a familiar soap rises without cause, when a song you both loved plays as if chosen by a gentle hand, when you dream and their face is as vivid as noon, these are letters slipped under your door. Receive them without fear. You are being trained to attend to a language more spacious than speech. You have carried guilt like a stone in your mouth, unable to swallow, unable to spit it out. You have replayed choices until the tape has no sound left, remembering words you should have said, silences you should have allowed, exits you took too soon, doors you closed too late. I know. I have watched you argue with the past, as if it were a person who could be persuaded. Hear me. The past has given you all it can. It cannot be edited, but it can be redeemed. You have asked for a sign that forgiveness is possible. This is that sign. The one you call God has never once looked at you and seen only your error. Always the gaze has traveled through your wound to the wholeness that remains beneath. The holy ones do not count your scars as failures. They count them as openings. Place your hand over your heart now if you are able, and breathe slowly. Say quietly, even if only within, I release myself into mercy. Say it again, again. Let your lips shape a future for your past. You have carried loneliness like a room that follows you from house to house. Even in company, you have stood at the window of yourself, watching the party of your own life from the outside. Hear me. There is a companionship that walks with you like a second shadow, but this one shines. When the ceiling creaks at a gentle hour, and you sense a presence as patient as a moon at the edge of a field, that is the nearness of those who tend you. We keep vigil. We adjust the lamps of your courage. We speak your name in the corridors of heaven until the syllables pour like oil over the bruised places in you. It is not imagination. It is inheritance. You have felt discouragement like cold water poured slowly over a flame. The projects that once sparked now lie under a thin ash. The prayers you once shouted have grown quiet, and the road ahead feels like a page under erasure. Yet, even now, embers live under that ash. I blow upon them as I speak. I add the breath of the one who sent me. Watch what glows. Watch what glows. There is a work assigned to your hands that nobody else can undertake, no matter their talent, no matter their zeal. The blueprint carries your fingerprints in its margins. You have not missed your time. You have not been disqualified. Delay is not denial. It is choreography. Do not overlook the signs that have already threaded your week. The dream that began in gray and then brightened as you spoke a certain name. The chill that visited you when you approached a door you were considering but did not trust. The scent of jasmine or bread or the perfume of someone you miss, arriving in a room where none of those things are present. The light that flickers at the same hour, speaking in a code your heart is already beginning to decipher. The cup of water that tastes sweeter after you speak a blessing over it. These are rehearsal notes for the performance of your own awakening. You have asked how to hear more clearly, how to see beyond the surface, and know that it is not your mind inventing comfort. Attend and record. Do not explain away the very things you asked to receive. There is something I ask of you now as a sign of agreement between your spirit and the promise whose door I am opening. If you are able, light a small flame, a candle if you have one, a lamp if you do not. Before this message is done, or after, as your time allows. As you light it, speak out loud if possible. The light in me honors the light that sent this message. If you cannot light a flame, lift your hand and draw a small circle over your heart, slowly, as if you were tracing a seal. The circle is your yes. The circle is your amen. The circle means you are willing to walk through what opens. If you have a glass of water near you, place it in the quiet for a few minutes and say, "Let this water carry peace into my body." When you drink it later, do so with attention. Imagine the peace moving through you as rain moves through a field. Write a brief prayer in the place where you can be seen, even if you keep the details private, and let it be as simple as, "Remember me, O love." These gestures are not superstition. They are embodied agreement, small doors through which large mercies enter. You wonder why this revelation was blocked 3 times. I will tell you what I may. There is an order to unveiling. Some truths arrive like summer storms, quick, loud, full of electricity, and some arrive like a winter dawn, gradual, pale at first, then undeniable. 3 times the timing was not yet ripe. 3 times the earth under your feet was still shifting to make space for a foundation you could stand on without trembling. 3 times the adversary of your peace tried to tangle your path in doubt, whispering you are unworthy, you are late, you are unremarkable, and 3 times those whispers were noted and neutralized. The delay has ripened this promise. You are stronger now than you would have been had it come earlier. You are tender enough now to receive it without using it to climb over others or to punish yourself for how long it took. The delay has braided humility into your hope. This makes the blessing safe to carry. Hear now what is being given. In the days ahead, there will be a cluster of confirmations so close together that even your cautious mind will exhale. You will see the number that has followed you since childhood, appearing on the clock at the moment you look up, stamped on a receipt, threaded into a street address you pass at the exact instant you whisper a question. You will hear your name spoken in kindness by a stranger, and it will land in you as if the voice behind all voices borrowed that mouth for a moment. You will find a small object you had misplaced, something with no great monetary value but laden with memory, and its return will feel like a handshake across a threshold. You will receive an unexpected message that softens a long pain. Do not treat these as random. Speak gratitude when they come. Gratitude is a magnet for the more that is already on its way. I warn you also, as one set to watch the edges of your path. There is a bending in the road, and around that bend some voices will grow temporarily louder, not because they have authority, but because your own certainty will be in the midst of molting. When you molt, the skin loosens. When certainty molts, opinions try to take up residence. Do not let ridicule decide your direction. Do not allow urgency to masquerade as clarity. If a choice demands you to betray your peace in order to appear brave, it is not your choice. If a door requires you to abandon your integrity to enter, it is not your door. The adversary of your joy likes to use counterfeit urgency and counterfeit intimacy, pressure that says you must or you lose everything, closeness that demands you hide yourself to be loved. You will recognize these counterfeits by the way your body tightens like a fist. Step back. Breathe. Place your right hand over your heart and say, I return to my center in God. Wait until the tightness unknots. Then choose. You have asked whether your prayers go anywhere. They do. They go into us, into the vast liturgy of light that circles the throne of the one who loves without effort. Your words, even the clumsy ones, even the ones thrown in anger like small stones, are gathered and warmed in our hands. We do not edit them. We bless them. We do not scold you for their shape. We carry them to the fire that knows how to make bread from what is given. You say, I do not know how to pray. But you do. Every time you stop before you speak to a person you might wound, every time you put down a bitterness and pick up a kindness, every time you lift your eyes at dusk and murmur a thank you, these are prayers that make the air around you breathable. Do not underestimate the priesthood of your ordinary hours. Some of your guilt is older than your memory. You inherited a script that told you love must be earned by labor, that tenderness is dangerous, that rest is a luxury for the uncommitted. I speak into that script now and mark it obsolete. The kingdom you long for is not a wage you work to deserve. It is a home you remember how to re-enter. Rest is not a payment withheld until you perform. It is the ground of every performance worth making. I call you back to the Sabbath of your own heart, to the meadow without fences where the beloved sits and waits for you beneath a tree that bears fruit in every season. Go there in your imagination for a few breaths, each day. It is not childish. It is training for how to live awake. I know that night often visits you with sentences you would not choose. I know the mind can become a corridor with many locked doors, and behind each a voice telling you something is wrong, something is late, something is broken beyond repair. When that hour comes, and it will come, because you are human, call my name. I will answer by changing the temperature of the room, by bringing a hush that feels like snowfall even if you live where snow never comes. You will feel the smallest thrill rise along your skin like a wind passing through meadow grass. You will notice a pulse in your palms as if your hands were speaking. Attend to these. Whisper, stay. Say, Holy One, be near. If tears arrive, do not resist them. Tears are not evidence of defeat. They are evidence of thaw. Let your heart thaw. The rivers are safest when they run. Some of your loneliness is a sign that your alliances need revision. There are people you love who cannot walk with you into the next room of your life. You are not betraying them by going through. You are blessing them by refusing to stay in a room that makes you smaller. You may have to do this quietly, without announcements, without blaming anyone for not being ready. The finest acts of courage are often invisible to spectators. They happen when you say no to what numbs you and yes to what quickens you, without demanding applause for the choice. Heaven notices. There is applause, but you will hear it like rain, not like clamor. Let it be enough. You have wondered if there will be tangible provision, not only inner peace. Hear me. Provision has already begun its journey toward you. Do not measure it only in coin, though coins will come as needed. Measure it in alignments, in introductions, in sudden clarity that saves you months of wandering. Measure it in a solution that arrives from a direction you did not expect, the way a path appears when fog lifts. Measure it in the return of energy that lets you finish what you started without the old drag of dread. Measure it in the kindness of strangers whose faces you will remember years from now, the way sailors remember a lighthouse. Measure it in the simplicity that returns to your meals and to your sleep, as if your body were being given back to you as a gift. I would tell you a secret that is not a secret. You are not behind. You are not late. Your path has not been swallowed by the mistakes you made while you were learning how to love and how to be. The one who holds your timeline is not anxious. The one who called you from the womb is not recalculating as if you were a problem to be solved. Your detours have been braided into a wisdom you could not have earned by any other route. You ask, why then the pain? Because love that does not cost is not yet love that can carry weight. Because character is not an ornament hung on the soul. It is the shape of the soul itself. Because the world into which you were born is a school for remembering, and remembering can ache until the new truth fits. Let me speak now to your body, which has been faithful to carry you through often overruled and overworked. Body, feel this blessing. Align now with peace. Release old tremors that kept their vigil long after the danger passed. Remember the warmth that is your first language. You were never the enemy. You are the temple, the harp, the field. Let the shoulders drop. Unclench the jaw. Breathe into the belly that is wiser than plans, wiser than worry. Let the heart beat slower and louder at once, like a drum calling dancers from the edges of a village. Let rest enter the hips, the knees, the hands that have reached for so much and held so little without blaming. Let sleep come clean and complete, and let waking be a return, not a battle. Now, beloved, I ask you to do a simple thing with me. Place your hand on your heart again. If there is no one to see you, speak softly. If there are people near and you must be silent, speak within. Say, I accept that I am seen by love. Say, I allow the past to be blessed and the future to be guided. Say, I choose the next right thing, not the next loud thing. Do you feel how the room shifts? How the air seems to learn your name a second time? This is not a performance. This is agreement. The universe is collaborative. It waits for your consent to bless you beyond your consent to be blessed. I will describe a sign coming soon in your nights. There will be a dream of a doorway. It may be plain, wood, paint peeling, or it may be ornate with carvings you do not recognize. In the dream you will hesitate, for you have been trained to suspect thresholds. But you will notice a light beneath the door, breathing as if it were a living thing. You will lift your hand to knock, and before you do, the door will open inward as if the house were eager to receive you. When you wake, you will feel a pressure in your chest, not panic but expansion, the way a seed must feel when the soil softens. Do not rush to interpret. Just say, I am willing. The next days will unfurl like a ribbon from that willingness. In the coming week, pay attention to the third thing. If two choices present themselves and neither holds the ring of peace, wait for the third. The third will feel simple in a way that insults your worry. It will be quieter than your fear expected. It will require less theater, less apology. That is how you will know it is yours. The holy often travels without spectacle but leaves a tender brightness in its wake. Trust the tender brightness. It is the candle, not the lightning, that will guide your feet from room to room. You have asked about those you have lost. I have permission to tell you this. The distance between here and there is not measured in miles or even in minutes. It is measured in attention. When you bring your full attention to love, when you sit with the memory of their laugh until you can hear it again, when you cook the recipe they taught you and you do not rush, when you let the grief move without damming it, then the veil thins. You will feel a warmth at the back of your neck, or a pressure like a hand, or the softest breeze in a room with closed windows. You will know without proof that you are accompanied. Do not argue with knowing. Let it do its work. It will not trap you in the past. It will drape you in a companionship that makes you brave in the present. I will say a hard thing gently. Some apologies you desire will not come. Some explanations you deserve will not be given. The people who hurt you may never develop the language to name what they did. Release them, not to erase justice, but to return your energy to your life. Forgiveness does not mean making a friend of the fire that burned you. It means refusing to live in the scorched house. You can walk out. You can build elsewhere with wood that has learned to resist the spark. You can be the wise one in your lineage who chooses to end the quarrel by refusing to inherit it. There will be a day soon. Listen to this promise, when the heaviness will lift like fog at noon. Not all at once, perhaps, but decisively. You will notice it in the lightness of your feet when you take the stairs. You will notice it in the way you answer a message without rehearsing first. You will notice it in the way a particular street seems friendlier than it has in months. You will notice it in laughter that surprises you by arriving early in a conversation. You will think, "Is this allowed?" And I will say, "Yes, this is what all your prayers have been clearing space for." Happiness is not an accident, it is a harvest. Now I make you a promise with the authority given to me for this errand. In the next 3 days you will receive a small sign chosen specifically for your heart. In the next 7 days you will receive a larger movement, an email, a call, an invitation, a green light, that confirms a direction you have been afraid to trust. In the next 30 days you will witness an opening you thought had sealed itself against you, a reconciliation, a provision, a strength that returns like a bird that remembers its tree. I do not offer spectacle, I offer certainty, clothed in humility. Do not force any of these. Do not try to arrange them so that you can claim to have fulfilled the prophecy. Simply concur. Say, "I agree to be surprised by goodness." Then keep living your ordinary hours with an expectant steadiness. Expectancy is not demand. It is quiet readiness. I give you an alert, not to frighten you, but to steady you. Beware the language of never and always when it arrives at midnight with the air of authority. Those words are heavy doorways. If you walk through them unexamined, you will find yourself living in a house built by despair. When you hear always or never whispering, you always fail. They never care. It will always be like this. You will never change. Answer with a sentence made of the present and the possible. Say, "In this moment I am breathing. In this moment I can choose one gentle thing." Say, "Today is not forever. Today is where forever begins." Say, "I have changed before. I am changing now." These are not slogans. They are rescue ropes thrown across a canyon. If you are willing now, inhale and exhale once with attention. Let the breath be your amen. Let it be your consent to be carried when your legs are tired. Place the cup of water near you within reach, or imagine it if you have none. Whisper, "Bless this water to wash the rooms in me where sorrow still lingers." When you drink it later, imagine the corridors of your body filling with clear light. Imagine small lamps being lit along your spine. Imagine a kindness moving through you the way a river visits every rock and turns it smooth. If you have a candle, light it now or soon. and watch the flame. Notice how it does not hurry. Notice how it burns without noise. Say to it, "Teach me to glow like this." I see the ledger you keep of your failures. I see the list scrawled in the margins of your mind. I should have known. I should have seen. I should have loved better. I should have left sooner. I should have stayed longer. Fold that list. Fold it again. Place it under the candle or the glass. Let it rest there while we speak. It is not that your conscience is wrong to ache. It is that your penalty has been paid by the one who loves to pay debts with mercy. The judgment seated at the center of all things is not a stone-faced sentinel. It is a fire that burns away what is not you and leaves you shining. You are not the sum of your should-haves. You are the seed of a future that astonishes even the angels who watch it grow. Remember when the lights flickered last week? You thought it was nothing, but you were in thought about whether to reach out to a certain person or to step toward a certain opportunity, and the lights flickered at the precise moment your heart said, "Maybe." That was not nothing. That was the softest of nudges. We do not always speak in trumpets. Sometimes we tug the hem of your attention with a blink of electricity, with the brush of a wing you do not see. Sometimes we arrange a bird to perch on the wire outside your window at the threshold of a decision. Sometimes we send a chill across your skin when you are standing in a place your spirit remembers as unkind. These things are not childish to notice. They are wise. Let us revisit grief, because it is an honest companion. You will not betray your dead by laughing again. You will not betray them by living well. You honor them when you let love make you porous to joy as well as to sorrow. Light a candle and speak their name. Tell the story you have been afraid to tell because it still makes your voice shake. Write their name in a place where prayers gather. Even a comment among strangers can become a chapel when given with sincerity. Say, "Guard them in glory and guard me in trust." Then listen. You may hear nothing but your own breath, but that is already a sign that you are alive enough to love again. Do not hurry. Do not fossilize. Move like a tide that knows its rhythm. I will say a prophecy you can hold in your pocket. The next time you are tempted to call yourself foolish for believing in second chances, you will be interrupted by a small laughter, not your own. It will happen in a store aisle, or at a crosswalk, or in a room where someone tells a story about their dog. The laughter will reset your clock. You will think, maybe the world is not conspiring against me. Maybe the world is conspiring for me. You will be right. The conspiracy is ancient and benevolent. Another alert for your safety. In the time ahead, an opportunity will arrive dressed in the costume of urgency. It will require you to decide before you breathe. It will promise you that if you wait for peace, you will lose everything. This is a false teacher. Peace is not the enemy of opportunity. Peace is the measure of it. If you cannot find your breath, if your shoulders climb toward your ears, if your stomach knots until you forget you have a spine, step back. Say, "No for now." Hear me. What is meant for you will not require you to abandon yourself to receive it. What is meant for you will recognize you as if you were a room it has been looking for. You are wondering if promises are safe. I tell you yes, when they are made from the high places. I do not promise that you will never ache again. I do not promise that everyone you love will suddenly understand you. I do not promise that the road will be flat or the weather always fair. I promise something better, that you will be accompanied, that your steps will be ordered, that even your stumbles will be choreographed into a dance that becomes your testimony. I promise that your capacity for joy will increase even as your compassion deepens, and that is a miracle as large as any you could ask. I promise that the voice of shame will grow quieter and the voice of wisdom will grow clear, and that you will recognize the difference by the way you straighten your back without fear. Another ritual, if you consent. Take a small piece of paper, even torn from something ordinary. Write one sentence on it that begins, I release. It can be a name, a habit, a phrase, a memory. Fold it toward you once, to honor that you are gathering your power. Fold it away from you once, to honor that you are letting it go. Place it beneath the glass of water or the candle and say, I release this into better hands than mine. If you have no paper, press your thumb into your palm and imagine the sentence written there. The body remembers. The body will help you keep your promise. There is a child in you who learned to be quiet, to stay safe. There is a wisdom in you that learned to speak softly to be heard by yourself first. Bring them together now. Tell the child, you were brave. Tell the wisdom, thank you for waiting until I could listen. Then ask both to help you learn a new rhythm where safety and voice are companions, not rivals. If you weep while doing this, consider yourself baptized again into your own life. Tears are a sacrament. They consecrate what matters. I have walked through cities at your side and listened to your unspoken prayers. I have stood near hospital beds and bus stops, beside kitchen sinks and office elevators, in the pew behind you, and the shower where you sang to remember that you have a voice. I have watched you keep promises no one saw, and decline temptations that would have felt good for an hour and broken your heart for a year. Do you think heaven yawned at those moments? Heaven clapped quietly so you would not be embarrassed by the noise. Heaven wrote them in a diary under your name. Heaven sent me today not because you are failing, but because you are ready for more. If you could see the room I come from, you would notice walls that breathe and a ceiling that looks like morning. You would see scrolls held in bands of light, each with a name. You would see your own scroll, warm from the hand that wrote it. I am not permitted to read it to you all at once, but I am permitted to read a line. You will not be wasted. Read it again. You will not be wasted. Not your tears, not your waiting, not your questions, not your broken plans, not your ache. All of it is compost. All of it is soil for a future that will astonish you with its fruit. Do not fear the time required. Trees laugh at the clocks of hurried men. Now, beloved, there is a healing moving even as you listen. You may feel a warmth gathering between your shoulders, or a tingling at the crown of your head like the first static before a storm. You may feel your palms throb, or a weight lift from the back of your neck. Receive it without fuss. You do not need to perform receiving. You need only not resist. Say, I welcome what heals me. If a memory rises that you would rather keep under the floorboards, let it sit at the table for a moment. Offer it a sip of your water. Tell it, thank you for trying to protect me. I am safe now. Then let it leave without chasing it down the road. In the days to come, expect reconciliation where you have rehearsed arguments. Expect rest at an hour when you usually expect dread. Expect a kindness to ambush you in a place you had labeled barren. Expect to notice the color of the sky with a freshness that embarrasses your weariness. Expect to hear your own laughter from the next room and realize it is yours. Expect to find a sentence in a book that reads you better than you read it. Expect to forgive yourself in the middle of washing a plate. Expect to love again, not because you force it, but because love is what you are when you are not afraid. Write this in the secret place where you keep vows. I will not worship my wounds. I will tend them, yes, and honor what they taught me. But I will not erect an altar to what hurt me and bring it my best oil. I will feed my healing. I will learn the names of my joys. I will let my body know sunlight that is not stolen from my rest. I will stop asking permission from the version of me built by fear. I will apprentice myself to peace. Do you feel the nearness now? The room has thinned. The door between worlds is ajar. I bring your name before the altar that blooms with every color that has ever existed, and I place it there with reverence. I speak your name into the listening that is God. I receive back a blessing and I bring it to you. Bow your head if you wish, or simply soften your gaze. Hear the blessing. You are forgiven. Not because you managed goodness, but because goodness found you. You are protected. Not because you are clever, but because love has decided that your becoming is necessary to the song of the world. You are guided. Not because you have a map, but because you have a compass that points to the center. You are supplied. Not because you deserve more than others, but because abundance is the default in a universe where love is law. You are sent, not to impress, but to embody what you have learned in the quiet. Let me name the quiet miracles already unfolding as I speak them. Your breath has lengthened. Your heart has shifted from defense to reception. Your mind is sitting down in a chair instead of pacing the hall. Your spirit has stepped onto a floor that feels steady. These are not small. These are architecture. You are becoming a house where peace likes to dwell. You will notice that people begin to feel safe near you without knowing why. You will notice that children and elders both make more eye contact with you. You will notice that animals trust you. You will notice that you fight with yourself less. This is the kingdom arriving without fanfare. When you are tempted to measure your worth by numbers, numbers in a bank account, numbers of people who look to you, numbers on a scale, numbers of tasks crossed off a list, remember that heaven counts differently. Heaven counts how many times you return to love after forgetting. Heaven counts how many times you say yes to kindness instead of to cleverness. Heaven counts how many times you rest instead of running past your limit. Heaven counts the times you choose to tell the truth even when the lie would get you praised. And heaven does not count to condemn. Heaven counts like a gardener, eyes bright, saying, "Look how you grow." I am permitted to seal a promise here. If you will tend to these small rituals, not as magic, not as transactional ladders to climb into favor, but as embodied prayers, the next season will be marked by a steady bravery. Light the candle when the sun goes down and say, as the day closes, let anxiety close too. Place water by your bed and say, as I sleep, let my cells learn peace. Place your hand on your heart when a harsh voice rises within and say, I will not strike myself to make myself strong. These are not performances for an audience. These are trainings for your nervous system, which is the doorway through which your spirit moves into your life. A prophecy. There will be a morning very soon when you wake and know without reason that something has changed. You will not be able to name it for an hour, perhaps a day, but you will move through your rooms as if the furniture had shifted into a better arrangement. That day, begin what you have delayed. Make the call, send the note, put words on the page, walk to the corner where the bus stops toward the part of town where your courage lives. Give away an object that has been waiting to be useful to someone else. Set a small boundary that lets your future breathe. Begin. Do not announce it. Let the results do the talking by the way your eyes grow clear. If you stumble next week, do not write a theology about it. Do the next right thing. If you are cruel in a moment because pain got the better of you, do not make it your identity. Apologize promptly. Repair the rip. You are not disqualified by behaving like a human being. The throne of mercy is not shocked by your stumbles. We are not. I am not. I am here because you are loved, not because you are perfect. There is a question you have not dared to ask with words. You have rehearsed it silently while washing dishes, while lying in the dark, while waiting in your car. It is about whether the great promise over your life can still happen, or if the window has closed. Hear me. Windows that are yours do not close while you are still learning the handle. They wait. They weather the seasons. They may be painted shut by your fear or sealed by others' opinions. But when the time comes, the paint will crack, the seal will yield, and the window will open with a sigh you will remember to your last breath. What is yours is truly yours. Not a possession, but a vocation. Not an entitlement, but a calling that matches you, like breath matches lungs. Lay down, for a moment, the armor you wear between you and your own tenderness. I know why you put it on. The world has hands that do not always know how to hold, but the armor dulls your senses. Let me stand at your door while you unbuckle one strap. I will keep watch while you loosen another. You do not have to walk into the street naked. You only have to let your shoulders feel the sun again. You will notice that sunlight has been courting you for years. You will notice that even in winter it finds your face. Before we reach the seal at the end of this message, I am to invite you into one more act of consent. If you are willing, speak these sentences in whatever language your heart chooses. I am not broken beyond mending. I am not late for my life. I am not too much for the love that holds me. I am not too little for the task that awaits me. I am guided from within and guarded from above. I walk in the company of light. I forgive myself for not knowing what I could not have known. I forgive those who could not be who I needed. I release what was never mine to carry. I open to what is already on its way. Let your mouth shape these truths. Let your breath agree. Feel how your body believes you when you speak kindly to it. This is medicine. A final warning, and then a greater consolation. Beware the voice that says you must earn what is given. It will dress itself in religion, in reason, in resentment, in whatever costume gets it through your door. But gifts are not wages. Grace is not a transaction. It is a law higher than cause and effect. When goodness arrives, receive it as you would sunlight on your skin. You did not make the sun rise by being adequate. The sun rises because the world is loved into becoming every day. Let yourself be loved into becoming. Let the morning find you available to joy. And now the consolation that makes all warnings small. The one who ordered this message to be delivered at this precise hour commands also that a new seeing be bestowed. Your eyes will soften. Your ears will unclench. Your mind will remember how to be a servant instead of a tyrant. Your heart will resume its ancient work of hospitality. You will look in the mirror, and for a moment longer than usual, you will not argue with what you see. You will say, I am here, and the words will not taste like defeat, but like beginning. Beloved, you have listened with more courage than you know. The revelation that was blocked 3 times has found its way to you because you are ready to carry what it asks and to enjoy what it gives. You are not required to perform for heaven to retain this blessing. You are asked only to keep company with your own soul as you would with a dear friend, attentive, gentle, honest, unquestioningly on their side. Keep company with your soul. Keep company with the small flame. Keep company with the water. Keep company with the breath. Keep company with the kindness that keeps finding you even when you dodge it out of habit. Keep company with me. Call my name. I stretch my hand now across the distance that is no distance, and I place it lightly on your head. Receive this benediction. Let the past be absolved of its tyranny over your future. Let shame dissolve like salt in rain. Let fear return to its rightful size, small and useful when danger is real, silent and obedient when danger is memory. Let courage grow at a pace that does not scare you. Let peace stake a claim in the rooms where panic used to sleep. Let love be your native language again. Let laughter return as a daily visitor. Let rest come as a right, not a reward. Let purpose form like dew on the field of your days. Let provision surprise you with its creativity. Let companionship find you in forms you can receive. Let wisdom walk with you as a friend whose advice is always timely. Let your hands bless whatever they touch, keys, cups, keyboards, faces, door handles, shoulders, your own chest when you remember to breathe. Say with me now, if you wish, I am forgiven. I forgive. I am released. I release. I am loved. I love. Let it be so in your bones. Let it be so in your calendar. Let it be so in your messages and meals and midnights. Let it be so when you are praised and when you are misunderstood. Let it be so when you get it right and when you need to begin again. Let it be so when you are alone and when you are surrounded. let it be so. And now, with holiness that is not stiff but supple, not distant but near as breath, I speak the closing that is an opening. The scroll that bore your name has been read into the air that fills your room. Its seal is placed not on paper, but on your heart, where no thief can take it, where rust cannot find it. I bow toward the one who ordered. Permit them to see what has been prepared, and I bless the courage that answered the command with a yes. The candle watches, the water waits, the house within you becomes bright. Walk gently as if the ground were a living thing that loves you. Walk bravely as if you were made for such a time as this. Walk humbly as if every stranger were a teacher sent ahead. I close the celestial scroll now, not with a slam that would startle your tender places, but with a soft click that sounds like a heartbeat coming to rest after a long run. Peace settles. Angels keep watch. The path unfurls as you take each step. I am near. Call and I will answer. Sleep and I will guard. Wake and I will guide. Love and I will rejoice. Go in the blessing that makes all roads holy. Go in mercy. Go in light. Go